to this week's episode of Anime Bros. I'm your co-host, Chris, and then we have our other co-host and guest, Matt, Ted, and Brendan. Today we'll be talking about Cyber City.
Yeah, Cyber City 808. It seemed like a pretty cool show. It's about these like three guys that are serving life sentences, and it's in the future. I believe it said it was year 2808, and they kind of get this opportunity to reduce their sentence if they go down around and like hunt the world's like best criminals at the time. They can get years knocked off their sentence. So it's a pretty cool show. I feel like it was very inspired by the 80s. That's what you were saying a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I think the show was created in 1990, and then I think it was dubbed not until like 94. But yeah, it's very 1980s. I feel just kind of like Japan was maybe a little behind. It just felt like very like U.S. 1980s, like heavily inspired by your classics like Predator. Or, what were you saying?
Yeah, it's like in the second episode, one of the main characters, Gogul, he was like fighting that cyborg thing. And it made me think of like the movie like Predator or like Terminator or RoboCop or something.
I was getting Terminator vibes.
And then that one dude like Benton's got like the crazy blown out hair, and then they're just playing like 80s rock music the whole time.
Yeah, they've all got like mullets and funny 80s haircuts and a bunch of cheesy one-liners. That's honestly one of my favorite parts about it, just like the really cheesy, tough one-liners. I don't know what you guys thought about that.
Oh, no, I was agreeing with you with the one-liners. One of them I actually wrote down. It was like, if you to make a mistake is human, but to really fuck something up, you need a computer. I actually thought that was like one of the funniest one-liners.
Yeah, I like the one where he the vampire one where he said you wouldn't know a vampire if it came out and bit you on the dick. It's just so bad and cheesy, but honestly pretty reminiscent of like any 80s action movie.
What'd you think of the show, Ted?
A lot of what you guys said about like the whole 80s shit, I really think they like mastered like all the cliche forms of like, like 80s hairstyles, clothing styles, even like the filming it felt like the animation itself kind of felt like I was watching Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, which I really miss that kind of animation versus like what you have today with like Naruto Shippuden, so on and so forth. Like it gets like sometimes it looks like really amazing when you're getting into the CGI of the big fights and stuff, like with what's his name,
Pain.
But yeah, you get my point. But when it's not that, like I kind of wish like modern day anime still looked a little like the animes from like the 80s to early 90s.
Definitely an older one. I think you said it was 1990, so
yeah. So it's just older. I mean, but I think that just happens when you watch certain cartoons that are older. The quality is just different, and it adds to that nostalgia.
Yeah, I agree with that. I kind of wish they had either more episodes or they should have just kept following those three on the adventure. Like just maybe have more missions.
Well, it seemed like it was a 3-episode show. Each episode's kind of centered around one of the characters. Like Sengoku was the first episode, then Gogul was the second, and then
I think it was intentional.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think it got like cut short. I think the intention was to just do those three. It's almost kind of like a Pulp Fiction kind of deal, where they're just following each person's story and then they converge.
That's a good comparison. Hey, I got a question for you guys. What do you all think about how how it wrapped up? Like, do you think it was left too open, or do you like how it was like kind of left open and they're still like commuting their sentences with fighting crime?
I kind of liked how it never got. I mean, I thought it was a good show overall, so I feel like it didn't go on long enough to get bad. Like some of these other animes we like, they start off strong and then they just don't finish the story. So I kind of like that it was a little bit shorter and more open to interpretation. And I mean, they showed enough of the character to where you get an idea of their skill levels and stuff. So,
I mean, does it hold up to the other the other animes y'all have been reviewing?
I liked it. I mean, I would rate it pretty highly. Like, it was definitely short, but I think that also is kind of a cool aspect of it because it would be really easy to rewatch.
Yeah, a lot of animes don't really know how to keep it short and sweet anymore. Even some of the mini series like feel long for a mini series. That like that's the shortest I've ever seen, but at the same time, like it was the longest episodes of an anime I've ever seen.
Well, it's just kind of like I think of it kind of like a movie. Like I always sit down and watch all three at once, and it's just kind of like a movie length at that point.
Yeah, because each episode is actually like the length of two regular anime episodes. Like they're like what 40 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
So my thing is, I feel like they left it a little bit too open though, because I kind of had like more questions when it ended that like what happened that weren't answered during the show.
There's just so much they could have done.
Yeah, but maybe that's just like part of it. It's like it's left up to your imagination after that.
That's good though. Like at least you wanted more, not less. You know.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite character?
I did. It was actually Sengoku was my favorite character, but the second episode was my favorite episode.
Oh,
right. That's actually exactly how I felt when my roommate in college when I was a sophomore showed this miniseries to me, and that's how I felt. I liked Sengoku the best. I thought he was a hard ass at the beginning and just always having hangovers, and I don't know, he's just kind of like a working class hero sort of dude. But the second episode is my favorite episode.
I would have to say the second was I don't know. I really like the third episode as well. I think Gogul's my favorite character. He was kind of the star of the second one.
I'm surprised. I thought Benten would be your favorite character.
Just because in the first episode, Sengoku was kind of putting Benten down a little bit. Sengoku was like in that room with that guy getting all the information, and then Benten just showed up after everything was done, and Sengoku was like, "Dude, what took you so long?" He's kind of like calling him like slow. So.
But I feel like that's just because it was Sengoku's episode, you know?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was crazy that Benten like was killing vampires. Like I gotta say, he is definitely in a league of his own.
I don't know. I feel like the third episode was my least favorite.
I don't know, dude. I thought it was pretty badass.
What didn't you like about it?
Kind of like I don't even know, because when I was watching it, I found myself just like losing interest throughout the story. I'll just be like, yo, what is going on here? Like he's fighting vampires, like a whole bunch of mashup.
Like a hat on a hat sort of thing?
Yeah. And I wasn't really following exactly what he was trying to accomplish.
Oh man.
By the end of it, I was like, all right, where's Sengoku and what's his name? Gogul or Ben?
Gogul.
Gogul. I was like, where are those two guys? Like, get this third guy out of here.
Dang. Okay, so not a Benten fan. Yeah, I thought Gogul was the coolest though, because I feel like he was badass in every episode. Like the first episode, he was hacking into the computer. Second episode, he was like taking on that Predator. Like it was pretty much like a mashup of like Predator and like Terminator, RoboCop, like fighting this like cyborg type thing that was hunting him down. And even in the third episode, he knocked out Sengoku, so I thought he was kind of badass for doing that.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
Gogul was the most like consistently badass.
I don't know. I thought Gogul was cool. Like I thought they were all pretty cool. Like all cool characters. But if I had to choose one among the three, I would also say Sengoku is my favorite. I don't know. I felt like at the beginning of the show, before I knew like each episode was centered around one of them, I thought that Sengoku was going to be the main character, the main of the three. The other two were going to be secondaries. Yeah, and also he kind of reminded me of Yusuke and Yu Yu Hakusho. And then the boss reminds me of that one guy from the Dark Tournament. What was
Taguro?
No, Taguro's boss.
Hasegawa.
Oh, Hasegawa. Yeah, he was kind of like Sakio from like the Dark. He kind of looked like that dude from Yu Yu Hakusho, the guy with the scar on his eye.
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I mean, like to me, the first episode also had like the deepest storyline, just because I wanted to know, like, all right, this dude was there for 15 years. Nobody found out what exactly was this dude doing. What like led to his like demise and all that stuff. So I thought from that point that they could have like dragged his story more.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious like how they all got captured, because they all seem like the most badass.
That's what my question was at the end of the series. Like, okay, how do they get like 300 years and they out here like fighting for the cops?
It's like Prison Mike. I never got caught neither. How do you end up in prison, Mike?
That's kind of what I always liked about it, though, because the first episode, I was just immediately drawn in, because you're just wondering about who the hell are these guys, and what is this crazy setting that kind of, to me, the setting is just like Blade Runner. I don't know if you guys ever watched that movie.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I haven't, but I've heard of it.
That's a really, really like class. It's when I first saw it,
has AI in it.
yeah, it has Harrison Ford in it. It's honestly like one of the quintessential like sci-fi movies. It's kind of boring. I thought it was boring when I first saw it as a kid, but watching it again in college, it was very thought-provoking.
It's a very philosophical film.
I don't think that Cyber City is like super thought-provoking in any way, but it just the setting
some people up in the
reminded me of it. It's a kind of a convincing 1984-esque kind of setting.
Yeah, I think it's like you said. It's like they watched all these American 1980s movies, like Blade Runner, RoboCop, Predator, and then they're like, "Oh, let's make an anime, like inspired by all these."
And I love the soundtracks to it. I think it has some really badass like 80s metal guitar riffs in it.
Oh yeah, the
really
intro.
Cool. Yeah, the intro song is really cool. But they have a lot of other sweet, just hard-hitting riffs throughout the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was because I was watching it in dub, but like even with the money, they mentioned like how much money, and they were like $50 million, and I was like, okay, isn't this supposed to be like Japan? Why didn't they say yen? So it definitely felt like they were grabbing like a bunch of like American cultural references, even down to like the type of money they were using in order to like describe what was going on.
I would have thought you would have watched the sub.
I was going to watch in the sub, but I was also doing work at the same time, and it's just easier to hear the dub and then like task.
So that's a point for dub.
That's a point for dub. Wait, did you watch in the sub or the dub?
Watched it in dub because that was like the first thing that showed up on YouTube.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of the animes that you can't really argue that the sub was better, because it kind of fits the whole like stereotype 80s American just shoot up fucking thriller sci-fi movie.
We didn't see it in sub though, so we can't really debate it too much.
Yeah.
So we'll have to watch in the sub to decide if it's better or not.
If they changed up the soundtrack, because when we were talking about Yu Yu Hakusho, like they actually had a different soundtrack for the sub than they did the dub, and I meant to bring up that I thought like all the songs in that were amazing. Like they did the same intro the whole show, and then the outros were cool.
Yeah, they did have a Austin, like different, actually different songs on the show too that I thought were pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder that, because I really like the track in the dub, so I kind of hope it's the same sub if I ever watch it.
Yeah, I noticed in Yu Yu Hakusho in particular that like different soundtrack for the sub, not even just like the opening endings, like the actual like music within the show, like when they were doing the fight scenes was different, and it gave it like a completely different vibe if the music's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, see, actually, this show wouldn't be one I wouldn't mind watching again, because I feel like I can pull something different each time I watch it. And then like almost like each episode is like a standalone, but they're still like intertwined together.
I still thought it was crazy that Benten was like killing vampires.
So I will say that like I feel like the middle episode, Gogul's episode, yeah, it was really interesting to me, because I was pretty confused at first when what's the name of the boss again?
Hakuzawa?
Yeah. When Hakuzawa gave him
Hasegawa.
When Hasegawa gave him the order to take out that cyborg, because it was kind of like so the boss is like a cop, but at the same time, like it didn't seem like it was like lawful at the time to me. And then
he was a crooked cop.
Yeah, but Feldman explained to me like he didn't want his reputation being sullied, or like his job being stolen by his robots, because that's basically what the general said. He's like, these robots are going to put you out of a job.
And those guys were just talking down to him. They're like, you're going to be out of a job, dude. We're going to have all these robots out here.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck you mean, dude? He was like all for his squad instead of for what they were doing. He was like, nah, dude, like we're going to mess you up. I know why you're trying to come at us and replace us.
Because for a little bit to me, it seemed like he had the best interest at heart for his own guys, but at the same time, he's got bomb collars on him.
Yeah, he's like. So
I was confused by that, and then you explained it.
Yeah, I think if anything, like those guys were like attacking his ego even. So he's like,
yeah.
He's like, these guys obviously aren't my friends. Like, I'm not gonna back down to them. And even he kind of like was back in his team, but he still like gave Gogul like he's like, you got 8 hours to do this, or I'm gonna blow your head off.
Yeah,
with
he
the
wasn't.
collar.
He was only doing it for his own like selfishness.
Okay, yeah. That's
Oh, I kind of wish that guy would have gotten the collar off though. I wish he would have went with the right one instead of the left.
Oh yeah.
The guy in the beginning.
Gogul told him, dude.
Yeah, Gogul tried to tell him.
But to be fair though, I mean, even if I was in that situation, I always go left instead of right. So I would have died too. I feel like going right.
Gogul was like, or the guy asked him, he's like, so are you gonna take me in if I get this collar off? He's like, nah, dude, I'm gonna have you take mine off.
True.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But
I wish he would have survived, but it was too bad for him. Around the neck, it's kind of harsh. It's like
yeah, even afterwards, Gogul was like, geez, man, like.
To me, the only scrub action was I can't pronounce his name. Gogul.
Yeah.
Gogul.
Yeah, Brendan said because he got the like.
He's got like goggles on, so
Oh yeah, kind
it's
of
like an easy name to remember. Gogul.
That was one. That was one of the things I did not like is how this dude was rushing at like this guy, and the dude shot a gun. And it just happened to hit his bulletproof goggles, and I was like,
"Oh yeah, I remember that. That was BS."
I'm thinking of the first episode. Sengoku was fighting the dude with the wire arms.
Oh, that was kind of unrealistic.
Dude, that guy, you would have thought that guy, like after calculating, he would have just gone straight. He like never thought to calculate to go like straight at him.
Yeah, I mean, first 2 or 3 times I understand, but this guy's been walking forward for a good 30 seconds. Just shoot like wire straight ahead and see what happens. If he dodges it, cool. You've already calculated that. Now you can go to wherever he dodged at. But like he just kept ignoring him walking straight.
Yeah. And then even I thought that was kind of some bull, but whatever. Sengoku got the victory, badass. But then when Gogul won his fight, he was like doing something from Spider-Man 3. He like did the hitting the thing, and that's how they like stopped Venom with the noise just ricocheting off the metal.
My thing is with Gogul though. All right, we don't know his background. We don't know how he got caught. But he's out here carrying out these crimes to the police because he's been caught and he has to do this. This random girl shows up after who knows how many years, and then like
I think they had history out of like clearly.
What's that?
I think
they used to be partners.
Yeah, there was some sort of history.
Yeah, Gogul and that chick. Yeah, they were partners in the past because like she was even saying like, I wish we could still be partners like before. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. No, I completely get that. But like, bro, you got caught and you had to be like the anti-cop. This not random woman, but like she randomly shows up after out of nowhere, who knows how many years. And
and you're saying, he just believes her right off the bat?
Yeah, I'd have been like, hold up, I've been caught. You've done something. Now these Secret Service people are knocking on my door looking for you. They just came to me randomly looking for you. I led them away. It didn't really think that like she could have gotten caught and she might be working with them. I mean, I know that's like kind of far-fetched, but like considering she said you were better than she was, you gotten caught. I feel like it'll be easy for me to be like, hey, look, you know what? She might be in some trouble. Everything she's saying is completely true.
Well, maybe you gotta know like why he got turned in. Maybe he got blackmailed or some shit. I don't know. Maybe he got caught because like he gave himself up somehow.
Yeah, he got caught, but she also said that like he was better than she ever was. So if he got caught being a better hacker than she was, I feel like you can use process of elimination and be like, hey, look, you know, maybe there's a slight chance she also got caught, and then the same thing happened to her. And then she like killed herself 10 minutes later. So it was like all like a huge like, hey, look, that actually none of those things needed to happen.
I didn't even realize she died at first because I thought he like dove in to like save her.
Yeah, he tried to save her, but she drowned anyway.
Okay. That part just like went over my head. I was like, I thought he like went and saved her, which I thought you would be against.
I would definitely have left her for dead.
Definitely.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that scene, I was like, yeah, Christian's not gonna be down with that.
What happened to you, dude?
Nah, nothing. It's just like she dove across them, brought the Secret Service to his door, and then it was like, you know what? Never mind. You're right. Like, I don't know what happened with my life, you know, trying to double cross you and turn you in was the wrong thing to do. And then drives us into like a river. Nah, I can't stand for that. And then she
you get one chance with Christian.
Yeah, one chance. She basically gave herself up though. which I didn't understand because she said, well, it was like implied that she like committed suicide by breathing underwater, but then he yelled her name, but he was still able to like save her and then bring her up. And I know that like he was choking on the water too.
Yeah, that whole part just like went over my head. Like it went from that scene to like him fighting the cyborg. Like I didn't even register that that girl died.
Yeah, I feel like
What was her name?
Sarah.
what was her name? Sarah. See, I didn't even know her name.
Yeah, it was yeah way easier name to remember. It was like an American name.
Unfortunately, I forgot all the women's names in the show.
I mean, they didn't play a big role except like Sengoku. I guess he had some sort of connection with that girl that also worked
What's
there.
her name?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what her name is either.
She was like in that elevator or that hotel room about to like fall to her death. That like inspired him to like.
I call her Kazumi.
I mean, at least he was able to take her out on a date. She seemed a little bit more honest than Sarah over there.
I was surprised they was able to like go out on dates. Like, isn't he a criminal like still locked up when he's not out on missions?
I mean, he has a collar around his neck. What's he going to do?
I guess they do let him run around.
I wonder what was the history between Benten and that dyke woman. You remember that?
That's true. Yeah, that was kind of weird, but
He counts like a guy.
He
Because
ended up
Benton's
going-
already like a cross dresser and like
they definitely had
Yeah,
something going on.
Opposites attract.
Yeah, but he went for the vampire instead.
yeah, because he killed her. He killed the butch girl in like a jousting contest.
Yeah. Oh, I would definitely give it to the guy though. He definitely was like the most skillful out of all three of them.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Sengoku was like calling him slow in the first episode.
Well, I feel like
I would agree with you if he wasn't calling him.
Benton seemed a little more well trained. Like he was like ninja trained or something, whereas Sengoku was just like a drunk hard ass, and then Gogul was just
Genius.
well, he was a genius, but also just like a Hulk. He was kind of like a Bruce Valanche kind of like Hulk character.
All I know is if I would go up against any one of them except the guy that's like using a wire to split off your limbs and your neck.
He was kind of using it like a whip too. Ted was saying he was like a cross between Kurama and Hiei because he was like super fast like Hiei, and then he was just doing his like whip stuff.
Rose whip.
Yeah, like that. But yeah, I just thought like Sengoku kind of made him look like the lesser of the two of them when he's like dodging all those lasers, and then Sengoku's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna jump up in the air vent while you're messing around down here," and he ultimately like accomplished the mission way faster. Like he like just came out the door. He's like, "Oh, you just got here." Like he was kind of talking down to him a little bit.
But I think if them two had like a fight each other with like nothing in the middle, I think didn't win.
Yeah, because he's the one that killed the vampire.
But I was also confused if how long they lived, or yeah, I was actually confused like how long they lived because they said his sentence was like over 300 years, and then he had 10 years tacked onto that.
They probably have normal lifespans. I feel like that happens to people
In real
life. They get like more years than they do like their actual life, which just means like you're never getting out.
There's people right now with like sentences.
There's people that serve like
150
double
years.
life sentences. It's like we only have one life.
It's just to kind of add insult to injury, really, and maybe also to kind of decrease the chance of like them getting their like sentence reduced before they die.
Yeah. With that being said, if he's living a normal lifespan, I don't know why he's being anti-cop anyways. He's never going to do enough missions to like get
I think
released.
some of the missions like they knock off like 10 years. So if he does 30 missions, that's 300
If
years.
you can gain your 10 years from doing a mission wrong, I imagine you can like lose 10 to 20 years by doing a mission right.
I thought that's how it was happening. They were just like, they're just like, dude, you disobeyed a direct order. That's pretty much what he was telling him, like, that's an order. And he's like, well, I'll think about it.
So
and then
like,
that guy's like, no, that don't fly. Like, I told you what you had to do.
So that'll be roughly around like 30 to 40 missions.
So I like how Hasegawa wasn't like taking shit from them. He's like, dude, like, no, I have the button like that blows up your neck. Like, you're gonna listen to me, or you're gonna stay here forever.
Hasegawa might have been like the ultimate mover of the entire plot. Like,
yeah, honestly, he was.
Button.
If I didn't have to choose between one of the three, he would be like my favorite. He's just very well composed. He was cool too. Yeah, he had the button.
he told Sengoku he had an hour to kill Benten, and he obviously didn't. So did Sengoku die at the end? What happened?
Oh yeah, true.
Wait, what? I missed that.
That's what was like had like way more questions than the answer they provided.
He was supposed to be killing Benten.
Oh
Yeah, dude, Sengoku should actually be dead.
Oh no, because he said kill Benton if necessary.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
His ultimate mission was like to stop the. So I guess Benten stopped the vampire for him. So then the timer would
That's
stop.
true.
Well, I mean, and also you guys are kind of right that like Sengoku did kind of fail that mission before Benton did change his mind to do that because he got his ass knocked out by Gogul.
Yeah, but they didn't know. They just
Yeah.
like the guy's dead. So he was.
I guess that means there's like a little bit of forgiveness, the whole collar thing.
Well, he still accomplished the mission by having Benton do it.
Okay.
You would see the reason I was like, well, also was like a little bit too open is, all right, he has his life sentence, 300 years. He obviously didn't do the correct mission first. He had it on 10 years. How long has he been doing this? If he's been doing this for 15 years and he still has 300 years left, the likelihood of him able to complete 30 missions to make it worth it is just not there. Like,
Why do you think?
if so it depends how many years do you start off with, how long has he been doing it. Like if it's been 15 years and he like say he started off with 320 years and he's only reduced it by 10 years and it's been 15 total years, there's no point.
Yeah,
But like,
the track record, the trend.
The show spans throughout the
I don't know. He's saying like hypothetical. They don't really tell you like time jumps in the show. So
Yeah, I don't know. But I feel like each episode probably spans throughout the course of like a day to a few days, like each case.
mhm.
So, like that doesn't sound like that much to me, like 30 to 40 missions. Like I feel like you could do that within like 5, maybe 10 years.
Maybe, but then there's also like how many missions do they really have? Like, what if he only gives them 2 missions or 3 missions every 6 or 7 months? Then even if you complete them correctly, it spans over such a long time that like, I mean, I honestly just think that Master Guy, he definitely structured it where you're gonna be working for him for the rest of your life. You're not getting free. It didn't seem like it was an actual out.
Oh, but in any event though, like I feel like that's still better to them than being in the prison.
Well, it's just a carrot.
Yeah,
He's just dangling a
So,
carrot.
Yeah, it's dangling a carrot, and I feel like they probably realize it. They don't care.
Well, it's like, would you rather be the dog in the crate or would you rather be a dog on a leash? I feel like
that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
You'd rather be on the leash.
How good the crate set up? Like if it's
Like, the crate is set up to where like you're crammed in there. You have to piss and shit on yourself. Like you're gonna starve.
All right, what if the leash is like
The leash, you can actually go on dates with chicks. And,
the leash is like a Ferrari driving in the opposite direction, it's dragging you along.
Yeah, I'd let my dog bang another dog on a leash.
Yeah, I think
I feel like it's not really a debate. I feel like you would take the leash.
no, I feel
You're
like
staring at the same 4 walls your whole life, or you can actually like get out and see stuff. You just have to like kill other things, and that's probably more exciting for them anyways. And they might even want to die on a mission rather than die in that cage.
I see. I'm taking the route of that second guy. I'm trying to like not the guy that had his head blown off. I'm trying to take off the collar because I know that's the only true way to escape.
But I don't know if there's any other points in the show we need to address. It wasn't really that long a series, but I also thought it was very nice. I would probably rate it. It was like solid. I would give it like an 8 or above. Like
I think 8 is pretty fitting.
Yeah, but I would even maybe give it higher than that because I've rated a lot of things 8s, and I think it might stack up better against some of those other ones I rated 8. So it could be higher, but that's definitely like the floor.
I think it wavers between 7.5 and 7.75 just because I like having answers and I like knowing as much information as possible throughout the series.
I liked it better than Naruto.
Very particular.
I think that's fair. I think I would give it an 8. I think it could have easily gotten a 9, but the reason I would give it an 8 is because they only had 3 45-minute episodes, so there wasn't a whole lot of room for screwing up. Like when you have a show like Naruto or any of those other shows,
it got so bad at the end.
It did because they had so many episodes. So it's like you're bound to like screw it up. But if you only have 3 episodes, like you can just make them really good, and you don't have like filler is not an issue to worry about.
Although I will say an exception to the rule is One Piece, which hasn't screwed it up.
Yeah,
I was wondering that. A lot of people, like my best friend in middle school, he loved One Piece. I never checked it out though.
I don't like the artistic style that One Piece went with after the 2-year time change. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of screwed the pooch on that one. I like how the characters looked before they jumped 2 years ahead.
It's very weird. I like each art style. I can't really tell which one I like better. I feel like One Piece to me screams like the animation he had before the time skip. But then like I don't think the animation after the time skip isn't too bad either. So it's kind of like a toss up for me.
Okay. It's fair. Fair assessment.
It's way better than Naruto. Like Naruto like dropped the ball horribly. Something going on. I don't know.
That's what I was saying. I think I'd rate this higher than Naruto because this didn't drop the ball. I could watch this like probably 100 times, maybe more, instead of watching Naruto. Because this
And
is
still
way
spend less time
this is
watching.
way shorter, and like I think would enjoy that more.
But I think I would enjoy Naruto's fights more. Like I can go to specific fights, and then like if you cut out the filler and I just watch
That's
those
funny you
fights.
said that. I was showing them Rock Lee versus Gaara before you even called.
That's a good fight.
Yeah, that's not even the best fight in the series. It's like around 4 or 5.
I think I would say my favorite fight in Naruto may have been the Pain fight.
That one was solid.
I thought it was pretty good. You didn't like it?
It was all right. I mean, it was one of the better ones. I like when Team Asuma's fighting Hidan and Kakuzu, and we already talked about that on their first episode where he just like chops his head off, and then Kakuzu's just like messing them up with the briefcase. I thought that was pretty that'd be pretty scary if I just saw someone like literally incapacitate someone with a briefcase. Jesus.
I like a lot of the fights. I like the Sasuke versus B.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then the Sasuke versus Deidara, that's even a good one.
Okay, you know what really fucking pissed me off in Naruto? You know what really pissed me off was Sasuke's transformation. That shit was just ugly. I hated that.
When he had that mark on?
We had the fucking like hand wings and shit.
Yeah, he did
like,
he looked a little hokey.
It was so stupid. Like what the fuck? No.
Yeah, I mean, they look like baseball mittens on the side of his like coming out.
Yeah, that's the shit right there.
They were like wing arms. They were weird.
Yeah, he didn't really
grab stuff.
He didn't really fly with them, so I don't really understand like the point of them. Or at least I didn't see him attempt to fly with them, except when he only had one.
Yeah. But anyways, Cyber City, good show. I would recommend checking it out.
I would recommend checking it out too.
I would just say if you like 80s action movies and anime, I'd say it's like a pretty solid go-to.
Yeah, it's probably the perfect for that mashup.
I agree. If only they would come out with like some more episodes of it to continue the adventure, I would definitely pick it up again. Unless they do like some shit like Berserk, where they turn the entire thing CGI, then I'll have like some second guesses.
Yeah, and I'd be down to do a review on the first Berserk.
Hey, if we're gonna do Berserk, we gotta watch the entire thing. I will force myself to watch the 2016 one.
I guess I will if you are, but I'm not gonna enjoy it.
Y'all should watch and review Hunter x Hunter. I don't know if you've seen it, but I love that show. Like I watched it during deployment. That show was amazing.
Which Andrew, that's our other guest we have on a few times. That's his favorite. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to like put it in the queue in order to watch it because I know I do have to watch it.
But I think that's all for us, and we'll catch you on another episode of Anime Bros. And that's for Nemi. And you can drop a like and subscribe if you want.
Yes, definitely.
All right, peace out.
I would watch more anime if it was a little like if there were more like mini series like that.
I mean, there's tons of them out there, dude.
Are there like more mini series out there like that?
There's definitely a lot of like 10-episode ones. There's a lot of 20-episode. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's a little longer, but I mean, if you just spread it out, you can still knock out 20 episodes pretty easily. So we can for sure recommend some. Some of the ones we've already done episodes on were a little bit shorter as well.
Yeah, but I feel like usually I actually do wish there was like a subset like within anime of like the longer episodes, mini series that he's talking about. A lot of the mini series are actually if you're 3 or 4 episodes, they're usually just recaps of longer series. Like Code Geass has one where it has like 3 movies that like tells the story of all 50 episodes within those 3 movies. They're like an hour long. But there was
It's like an abridged version of the show.
Yeah, but I mean, I wish there was more of like miniseries like Cyber City, where it's 45 minutes, 3 episodes, and like that is the story right there. I'm actually surprised it's not more popular, but it probably wouldn't. It's hard to, I would say, bring in money in order to like justify the production of just those 3 episodes.
I mean, Charlotte was like 10 episodes. That was a pretty short show, and I like that one a lot.
And Charlotte was 12 or 13.
Yeah, I mean, it was around, so like around.
Potato.
But those animes are also based off of light novels. So your 12 episodes kind of going to be like your shortest anime. But it's still like 12 episodes, whereas like Cyber City, it's 3. Like
The Tomb was pretty short. That might have been around 12 also.
yeah. Oh yeah. So like 12, 13 is kind of the average, but you're still talking about
I was just saying Brendan could watch some of those.
That's true. Well, yeah, but you're still talking about like maybe 6, 7 hours of watch time total. Whereas like the series we just watched was it was under 2 hours for the entire.
Pretty much a movie.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like technically Cyber City is like 3 episodes, but considering the length of the episodes, it's more like 6 episodes.
Yeah, that's what Christian was saying. They're like double length episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'd be pretty cool if there was more of those that were kind of like that. Because I mean, you can watch it in one day. You're not watching Charlotte in one day unless you actively like want to sit down and binge it.
Yeah.
And movies.
Life just like gets in the way too much. Like
Not of anime though.
I don't know. For me, I feel like it would. Because there'll be sometimes where I'll sit down and start watching a show, and I'm actually into it, but work just gets in the way, and then I forget about it for like a couple days, and then I ultimately just forget about it. Period.
It's true.
Happens with video games, like any kind of media that just takes a big commitment.
Sounds like a Brendan thing.
Well, maybe some of your other listeners have the same problem.
Even I have like maybe 5 or 6 anime that I have to go back and finish, just because I was watching them, got busy, and I haven't had a chance to finish them. I have to go back and find the ones that like I forgot that I didn't finish, it's kind of difficult to track them down.
I think Brendan would like Goblin Slayer. I think that's a nice short one.
Goblin Slayer?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but I was talking to Matt for like a good 15 minutes, and I do not remember watching this anime at all. I mean, I remember that like he was slaying goblins. I could not tell you anything about that show.
That's pretty much what the whole show was, just him slaying goblins. We can do a review. We'll rewatch it. It's a short one. We'll do an episode on it in the future.
I meant to text you. I'm gonna have to rewatch it anyways because they came out with a movie that was just released a couple months ago that continues the series. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
I have not, but I think I was waiting for the dub for them to dub it. But when we rewatch it, I'll probably just watch the sub and then I can watch the movie and sub.
Maybe, yeah. You have to make sure they're actually dubbing the version of the movie. I know
I'll just watch it. I'll start it over, watch it sub from the actual show, and then I'll watch the movie sub.
So one of the very few positive things about deployment to me was that when we're not working, I have nothing to do but to watch.
Wait, did we even introduce you as a Navy boy?
Huh? I don't know. It was probably in the beginning, but I figured you guys were probably going to cut that out. Yeah. Well, if these are real listeners and they've watched the previous episode, then they know Brennan's brother's in the Navy. So there you go.
We kind of skimmed over that. We didn't really like hype it up too much.
Yeah, who cares? It's not. Who cares about hyping it?
All right.
Don't join the Navy.
I just want my mom to go to the Army.
What's that?
So we know he's better than the other Matt that didn't make the Navy.
Oh yeah, that's what we talked about.
Hey, he dodged a bullet.
Oh man, too bad we couldn't have had Matt guest star in this episode. He always has some more controversial opinions.
Wait, was he?
Yeah, I feel like he's just wired differently. So
Uh,
the stuff that comes out of his mouth as a result.
You guys
Was
don't
he
think
one
the
of his favorite characters?
same.
The guy in Death Note. Is
Matsuda.
that what that guy's name was?
Yeah, Masuda, that was his favorite character.
Yeah, that guy was completely irrelevant.
That
I couldn't even remember the
Yeah,
guy's name. He was like non-essential to the story.
was like the main reason they showed me the episode of the anime bro debate.
Well, Matt will just like fixate on just the most extreme events, and Matsuda killed Light, so that's a pretty extreme event.
Yeah, that was pretty extreme. I think I got just like looked out.
I mean, he also did like save the day, kind of by accident with when he caught those businessmen on tape, or when he was like overhearing the
That-
conversation.
Uh,
But that wasn't. He caught that by accident.
yeah, but he's still scrubbed though.
A scrub.
His like
Complete.
overall his character just like took away from anything positive he did in the show.